when we have a set of data, one thing that someone could do to figure out the linear equation that represents it would be to use two data points and find the line that goes between those 2 points. However, a lot of times that might not be the best line to represent the data with. It's not the best fit for that data. And that's because it's very dependent on what 2 points you pick. 2 specific points will create a line when you have it go through it, but if you choose 2 other points in your data set, that line could be very different. So statisticians have come up with a way to get what they consider the best fit line to represent the data, and this is called the least squares regression line. In this class, you won't be expected to calculate this by hand. It would be a very long process and very hard to try and calculate this by hand, but we'll be using desmos.com to be able to evaluate what this least squares regression line would be for a set of data. We'll do that in the next video. But essentially what this is that it minimizes the sum of the squares of the vertical distances from each of the data point to the line. It tries to get each of the data points as close as possible to the line while keeping everything, not letting any of the points get too far. One thing, however, what you're going to want to be able to do in your homework for this is to be able to eyeball the best fit line from a set of options. So here in this problem, I have 4 different graphs, and I want to figure out which one would be the best fit out of these options. And on here we have, on the 4 graphs, they chose different data points to use to find that line. So we can see that it's a very different line that we get depending on which 2 points were chosen. To figure out which one's the best, one thing that we're going to want to look at is try to have an equal number of points above and below the line. So not only do we want the points to be very close to the line, we want about an equal number above and below. So first off, to cross them off, if we look at the one in the bottom right, we can see that there's a lot of points above the line and not really any below. So I'm going to cross that off as an option. That's not our best fit. The next one that I'm going to look at is the top right. And we can see that there's 3 points that are below the line. All the rest are on the line. So that doesn't really balance it either. So I'm going to cross that option off as well. And then we're left with the 2 on the left side. They're both decently balanced for points above and below, but we can clearly see that the top left option, it has the points much closer to the line than the bottom left option. So I would say the one for the top left is our best fit for this set of data. And now what I want to do is to figure out what the equation of this line is. So to do this, I want to get 2 points that are on the line. It doesn't necessarily have to be data points, it just needs to be on the line. In this case, I will be picking 2 data points because there are 2 nice points that go through this line that were data points. So if I just emphasize them here, we have the point 2, 6, and we also have the point 4, 10. So now I want to find our equation of the line that goes through these 2 points. Well, the first thing that we're going to need to do is calculate our slope. So we have that our slope m is going to be equal to 10 minus 6 over 4 minus 2. And that then gives us 4 over 2, which is equal to 2. And then I need to find out what our y-intercept is. I don't necessarily want to use the graph exactly to evaluate that because the graphs sometimes might not be very accurate and figure out exactly what the y-intercept is. So with this, I'm going to use the equation y equals mx plus b. And now we know what m is, and I can pick one of my 2 points to put in for x and y. So if I use that first point 2, 6, we have that when y is 6, this is equal to 2 for m times 2 for x plus b. So now we have 6 equal to 4 plus b. And then we can subtract 4 from both sides. So this gives us that b is equal to 2. And now we have our 2 pieces of information that we need to be able to write the equation of this line. We can say that y is equal to 2x plus 2.